Pack, my name is Vahlkor and welcome to Dauntless. Now today we're going to be talking about the War Pike, and oh my god, this weapon is amazing. I really like this weapon. I want to kind of give you guys a breakdown of what I think of the weapon and its uses. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the links in the description where you can find our Twitter, our Discord channel, and above all guys, if you're not part of the Wolf Pack, hit that subscribe button and join the Wolf Pack. Also guys, the winners for the giveaway are right there on the screen. Make sure to congratulate these people and check out the next week's giveaway in the description down below. Alright guys, so let's talk about the War Pike. The War Pike, to me, when I saw the reveal for this weapon, I thought, oh my god, this weapon is gonna be overpowered. And you know what? Surprisingly, it isn't as overpowered as I thought, but the weapon is very useful. It actually is a very cool weapon to use. Even though we're limited to only a couple of models right now, I think the weapon itself is so insane. I really like it. And it's because of the utility that it brings to the hunts. Like, I really like the ability to just deal damage with this weapon and be able to potentially knock down behemoths from range, even easier than what it was with chain blades. Alright, so let's jump into the primary attack. The primary attack consists on 4 thrusts. Now, these thrusts are just stationary attacks where you do poke damage and you're actually going to be your brain and butter to kind of like deal steady damage throughout the fight. You can also do a finisher move with this, doing another left click, so it will be 4 left clicks for normal attacks, then your spear will start glowing, and you'll have another click which you can press held down. You can hold down this button, and it'll actually do a charged thrust attack, kind of like it's gonna start doing a whole bunch of thrust in very quick succession, which is going to allow you to have more chances to apply the wound to the behemoth. And it also helps you build the meter a little bit faster. Now we're going to talk about the meter and all this stuff a little bit later, but just wanted to let you guys know that you could do that and it's actually very useful, especially to exploit behemoth weaknesses and to be able to apply the wound. We also have secondary attacks. The secondary attacks are pretty much slashing damage where you're going to be able to do a lot of damage very quickly. Now this is going to be your main attack whenever you want to dish out a lot of damage, that there's an actual opportunity in the fight. Let's say that the behemoth gets flinched or knocked down. This is where you switch from your primary attack to your secondary attacks. One, because it's going to allow you to build a meter faster, and the actual meter level that you currently have will allow you to do even more damage because the damage will scale with it. A quick thing to note is that as soon as you have full meter, you should be looking into transferring that meter into actual bullet ammo that you're going to use on your beam. However, if you have an opening, I would suggest just keeping that meter high up, and after the behemoth is done with the opening, then you can actually switch it to whatever the ammo is and keep a couple ammo in reserve, just for, you know, in case you need to knock down a behemoth or in case you want to do some extra damage, because that beam is pretty powerful. And so far so good. It's worth noting that you can switch from primary to secondary attacks at any given time in the middle of the combo. However, like I said, the secondary attacks will leave you exposed, so you have to be very mindful of the timing of these, but you can use this to actually position yourself better while fighting that behemoth. Alright, and we talk about the meter and we talk about the ammo, but we actually haven't explained how it works. So basically, there's 2 things that you got to be looking for with this weapon. You're going to have a special meter in the bar, which this meter is going to be filling out throughout time as you're fighting the behemoth. However, it's only going to fill out when you start doing damage to your behemoth. If you stop doing damage, it'll start decreasing over time. It's going to decrease at a slow rate, so it's not that big of a deal, but it kind of require you to use a combination from primary and secondary attacks so that you're able to build this meter fast and transfer the meter to actual ammos whenever the position is available to. And it's worth noting that this meter has a couple different levels. You can see it has 5 levels. At level 5, which is the latest little thingy there, is going to be the maximum amount of damage that you can do whenever you have a shot or whenever you're doing secondary attacks with that current level. Now, once you have the actual ammo and you want to use it, all you have to do is hold down the Q button, the special ability button, and the more you hold it down, the more accurate the weapon is going to be. It's very important that when you hold it, you pay close attention to whenever the War Pike kind of like emits some lights. It's gonna like kind of flash at you. That's when you want to release the button. If you let it hold down a little bit longer, it'll start shooting the beam at random direction. And the same goes if you don't hold it long enough. If you don't hold the button long enough, it'll actually just shoot in a different direction where you're not gonna have any control to where it goes. One more thing to know is that you can actually do 2 dodge attacks. You have a kind of like a roll thrust attack with the primary attack, and you have a roll overhead slash with your secondary attack. Nothing too special, it's just roll attacks, pretty cool looking, and I really like the way it looks. I really like the way they actually implemented the motions for this weapon. Something that it's similar to the evade lancing that it was in Monster Hunters. I actually don't know if there's any iframes with this, but you can pretty much just do thrust attacks and then you can hold the direction down and start doing attacks, and it'll pretty much jump side to side, and it's gonna allow you to actually move out of the way, still doing damage. Now, like I said, it is unclear if it has iframes because sometimes I'm able to dodge through attacks, but sometimes it's just because I move from them. And I think that's the main reason that this works, but I would like to see if this actually has iframes because that will make the weapon even better. Because essentially you'll be doing damage, and if you're able to master this side thrust thing, you'll be able to pretty much dodge through anything and stay in the fight, which is gonna make you even more deadlier than what it is right now. And like any other attacks, you can do this in any situation. You can actually be doing a combo, and if you need to move in the middle, you can just go ahead and press your direction and press the primary attack at the same time. But you have to be careful to make it very timely because it's very sensitive. So if you don't do it correctly, you'll just do normal thrusts and you'll probably get hit. But if you do it right, it'll actually jump to the side and it'll actually hit the behemoth and let you pretty much get away from danger. And something that I find very useful and satisfying is the actual charge attack for this weapon. If you go running, you press shift and you hold down the primary attack, you basically start charging at the behemoth with your spear, and when you reach your behemoth or you run out of stamina, you will actually hit the behemoth with a kind of satisfying thrust, which actually does quite a bit of damage. And again, it's very satisfying. It consumes a lot of stamina, but when using the correct situation, it's actually very cool. I really enjoy this move, and it makes me able to just roll out of combat and either go running at them right away, or just, you know, make sure that I can cover a little bit of ground and be able to hit the behemoth with a thrust, which is pretty satisfying. I really enjoy it. Alright, and I want to talk about what I think the skill ceiling and the actual playstyle for this weapon is. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not sure what you guys think about this, but I would like to know what you think about this. So, the War Pike is a very versatile weapon in the sense of it has the first ever utility that other members can benefit from. And I think that is very interesting the way they're moving into this, because the wound that you can apply to the behemoth benefits everybody in your group. So, if you consider yourself a character that wants to help the team, using a War Pike can be very useful because you can apply the wound to a specific part to the behemoths, and if people start using that point to do damage, the behemoth will take increased damage and you have a chance to break the parts faster. Now, on top of that, you can use your slashing damage to cut out tails, and I think it's very useful because not only it gives you the ability to apply the wound, it gives you the ability to sever tails out. I think it's very useful, do increased damage. I think the weapon is actually very cool. Now, the way to actually play this weapon, in my opinion, is I like to do thrust damage as much as I can. I like to stay in combat as much as I can, but I don't like to be too aggressive with this weapon because of the fact that I can get hit pretty easily. There's no way of, when you're doing thrust attacks, you're pretty much stationary. If you're not aiming correctly, then you're not hitting the part that you want. You're not hitting the behemoth. This doesn't have that much range. You know, it's not as mobile. However, when you combine your thrust attack with your secondary attacks, you're able to pretty much pivot yourself around the battle, pivot yourself around the behemoth, and you know, aim yourself better. And that makes it a little bit more useful. The only caveat about this is that whenever you use secondary attacks, you're pretty much exposed to take damage because you cannot cancel out of them. I would suggest that your main damage dealer, like I said, is the slashing attacks, right? But you're not a main damage dealer. Your main job in the fight is to apply wounds to the behemoths. Once you apply the wounds, you're able to do a lot more collaborated damage with the team because they're going to be using that glowing point. Also, if there's an opening and you're still doing thrusts, I would suggest switching from your thrust to your secondary attacks to start doing a lot of damage. Now, at the moments of opportunity, you're gonna have, if you start doing your secondary attack, you're gonna have a lot of meter charge. Now, that meter charge, I would suggest not converting it if you're in an opportunity where you're doing damage, because the higher the meter level, the better your damage is with the secondary attacks. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, talking about the actual Pike Blast. The Pike Blast is very useful. It does a lot of damage. However, I don't think it's as reliable as it could have been. I do think that it has a very good balance between, you know, doing the range damage and being able to actually aim it. I think it's very cool. I think it's a very cool mechanic. I just don't think it's worth having that unless you're pretty much not attacking the behemoth, because if you're attacking the behemoth with the secondary attacks, it's better to have the meter fulled up, charged up, so that you can do a lot more damage. Now that said, this actual shot is very useful because you can knock down behemoth that are charging at you, and that is very satisfying. If you're fighting a Skarn, you know he does this little storm thing. I would suggest to just, as soon as you see he's gonna do the storm, you start charging your shot. Whenever the storm starts happening, you shoot him and the Skarn just like blasts out and falls in the ground. It's very, very satisfying. So I think it's a very cool weapon. I really like the way it plays. I want to know what you guys think about this weapon. Let me know if you think the weapon is very hard to master. Let me know if you think the weapon needs an improvement. I want to know your thoughts on this because I think it's a very cool weapon. I'm going to be using it for a long time now. And I just think it's something that I really want. I really wanted some sort of range. I still want my bow though. So we'll see what happens in the future. Anyways, guys, that's what I'm on in today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the Warpike. Do you think it's a good weapon? Do you think it needs improvement? Let me know if you like the way the shot mechanic works, or let me know if there's anything that you don't like at all. I know it's been a long time since I've been able to upload a video, so I hope that you guys found this video useful. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm doing my best to try and come up with more videos because I just don't have enough time. If you've been in Discord, you know what's going on. I would suggest you guys check out the links in the description, find my Twitter, join the Discord channel. You guys can chat with me in real time there. I'm always trying to stay on there, and check out the next week's giveaway. Make sure you guys participate, invite your friends. I think the community is still growing so much. Like, I really appreciate everything, guys. I will come up with more videos soon, I promise. And anyways, hope you guys enjoy it. And as always, guys, my name is Vahlkor, and I'll see you next time.